Today I'm going to be showing you how to diagnose and fix a power supply for a 2022 Samsung OLED TV. The customer who sent in the power supply stated that their TV was completely dead, had no power at all. So let's start by powering it up and see what kind of voltages we can get from it. So for these power supplies, I should be able to just plug it in and it should be fully turning on. Something I noticed is when I plugged it in, I didn't get a click. I should have gotten a click, so that's my first indicator that something is wrong. Next, we're going to do a voltage check on the 13 volt line. And I'm getting no voltage at all. This is my V amp line, also no voltage. And my standby voltage line, nothing. Let's check our VDRV, also no voltage. Finally, I'm going to do a check on my filter capacitor. We should be getting 400 volts. I'm only getting 168. So that confirms the power supply is stuck in standby mode and is not fully turning on. We're going to go ahead and disconnect the power supply. And using our discharging tool, we're going to discharge it. Now it's safe to handle. We'll flip it over. And we're going to focus on this IC chip on the back over here. For that part, we're going to switch over to our microscope. So this IC specifically, ICS801S, is a current resonant IC. And commonly, it will short out, which prevents the power supply from being able to power on. To measure that, we were going to take pin number 10 over here and pin number 14, which is ground, and check for a short. Pin number 10 is our VCC line, and it's currently reading 55 ohms to ground, as you can see on the multimeter. VCC is our input voltage line that allows the IC chip to properly power on and work as it should. If we have a short on the VCC line, then that chip cannot get the proper power it needs. So most likely and most commonly, we see that the VCC line inside of the IC chip shorts to ground, as we've seen here today. So we're going to have to go ahead and remove the chip, and then we'll recheck to make sure that the short is not coming from the circuit board, but in fact is coming from the chip itself. Before we can remove the IC, we will need to remove the silicone encasing it. If you have a defective power supply that you would like to send in for us to fix, we do offer flat rate services, which come with a 1-year warranty. Those are available on our website, which I will link in the video description down below. And for those of you wondering what the part number might be, it's 6B22. And the full manufacturing part number is FA6B22N. For the removal process, we're going to start by adding solder to each one of the joints. This will help us get better flow. And for the actual removal process, we're going to use our hot air. And I just realized I didn't add any flux, so we'll do that real quick. And I'm not sure if you can spot it, but just on the edges right here and there, you'll notice a little bit of browning. That's going to be glue. And what that means is that our chip is both soldered down and glued down to the board. Part of the reason this repair is so difficult is because the IC chip is glued to the board. If you try to remove the chip too early and the solder hasn't flowed properly, you will rip traces and pads. There we go. Okay, so taking a look at our pin 10 VCC to ground, it looks like we still have our 56 ohms. So the short is still present on the IC chip. Now, if we compare it to a good working chip, a new chip, we're getting 1 mega ohm. So that confirms this chip is indeed defective. And now we can go ahead and remove with the iron some of that extra solder we added. Now let's go ahead and clean up some of that flux and remaining silicone. On the board itself, we can spot a little dot over here, which indicates pin 1. Our chip has a similar dot indicating pin 1 down here. So that's how I know the orientation. For the installation of the chip, I typically will add solder to one corner pad, and then while melting that pad, I will slide the chip into place. I'll do a quick visual double check. All my pins are lined up correctly. Yes, we'll let go of the solder, and our chip is now locked in. It's a little loose because only one of the pins is soldered in, so I can make micro adjustments if necessary now, but everything looks good, so we'll lock in the opposite corner. We'll add flux and solder down the remaining pins. Again, quick cleanup, removing that extra flux we added. Now let's do our final check. So pin 10 VCC to ground over here. We were getting about 57, 58 ohms, I believe, and we are now getting 230 kilo ohms, 236 and rising, and that's kilo ohms, which means thousands of ohms. So that confirms our short is gone. We should be able to plug it in and get full power now. So as I'm plugging it in, I'm going to be listening out for that click sound. And I just heard it. It was faint, but it was present. So let's redo our checks. We have our 13 volts. And now we are getting our 13 volts. We weren't before. Let's check our V amp. And we're now getting 18 volts. We were getting 0 volts. Our standby 12 volts. That's also present. And then finally our VDRV. And we're getting 32 volts. Again, not present before. Finally, let's check our filter capacitor. Should have been 400 volts, but it was showing 168 earlier. And now it's 396, confirming the power supply is fully on. So that confirms it. We have another successful repair. If you found the video helpful or useful, make sure to leave us a like, subscribe for more content, and thank you for watching.